What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zcash today, ZEC USD. It is the 24th day of December, and here we are with about 7.5 hours left in the day, sitting at about $441 right now. We're up 5.7% on the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, okay? Right now, what we're doing is a bullish engulfing candle. And before we get into the standard stuff, I actually want to just paint a picture here of Zcash for you guys so that we're all on the same page, okay? And I think to do that best, we should probably look at the all-time history, right? Now, Zcash has seen exceptional movement before, but never to this magnitude. We've never seen it to this magnitude. We can observe that on these indicators here. We've never seen a reading this high on the RSI, on the weekly RSI for Zcash ever in its life. Okay, this was absolutely the strongest move it ever had. Now, strong moves are great. Strong moves are great, and a move this strong, I highly doubt that this is all it has. I'm thoroughly expecting that we will continue to pump, no matter if we go lower from here or not. However low we go, this is not the high. We will likely go higher, and we will break out above this high. I know a lot of people, when they look at Zcash, they consider the all-time high to be up here, but I'm telling you guys, the all-time high, it's best to think of it as like right here. And I think that's what we're respecting right now, is this 2 cycles ago high. Basically, it's all-time high level. We're respecting this. We're showing a lot of resistance. The thought here that I'm trying to promote, that I'm alluding to, is that we saw the strongest move in Zcash's history, and the repercussions of that move were just 3 weeks to the downside. Thinking logically, where you're pumping for several months, for several months in a row. You did over a 20x in that time. Do you think a 3-week pullback is it? Let's pretend here that this is the low, that you don't go lower than this. Do you think now that you've pulled back 3 weeks that you're done and now you're ready to move up? No. Even if this is the low, you're still likely going to consolidate before breaking out higher, right? And this little tiny phase of consolidation, it could be February. That's February before you break out. Which, consolidating from November to February in order to break out, I think that's pretty fair. That's not asking a whole lot. That's just a few months. It could be longer. I mean, think about it like this. Whenever you found your low here, you moved up. Your consolidation lasted way longer than that. It lasted from December to September. Look at how much consolidation you had here before you broke out. And this was just off of a very small move. I'm not going to say here that we're going to consolidate for a whole year or 3/4 of a year or anything like that, but I'm just saying you're getting off lucky if this is your low after 3 weeks and you break out in February. You're getting lucky because that's a very mild, modest consolidation phase in crypto. The reason why I'm saying this is because it's a completely realistic possibility that this is not the low and that we do go lower, right? All of this, and all you have to show for it, all the repercussions of this was 3 weeks to the downside. That's it. That doesn't sound right to me. I would think, we're in the midst of an A, B, C correction. A little Harry Potter lightning strike here. One of those, A, B, C correction. And if we are, this should take us below $200, somewhere around there, and even a little bit below there. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. I want to look at the short-term stuff now, but again, just to get our minds right, we are anticipating that Zcash goes above this high at some point. But even if you came up there right now, even if you got above that high right now, you would likely come back down and still be consolidating. It would be a false break or something like that. We're not in any kind of territory where we can expect Zcash to resume doing things like this anytime soon. And the odds of this happening again are very minimal, right? Your whole life, you only saw that happen once. The closest you got back here was this. And we probably do break out with some spectacular velocity, but maybe not as spectacular as it was from September to October or November. Anyways, looking at this in the short term, looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, you are moving up, which is nice. You're having a good little push here. Some volume is coming in as well. 32 minutes left in this candle. There's some wicks up here. Yeah, this could be where you find some turbulence. We look at this from a high to a low. You look like you broke through your golden ratio on the first attempt, and you did hit your 786. I wouldn't be surprised if from here Zcash went all the way back down to about 430 to 416. I'm personally thinking 424 to 416, that area specifically. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we went right back down there and then maybe slowly work your way back up, something like that. A little bit of volatility. I doubt that this continues to persist. Trust when I tell you I've been doing this for 10 years. Whenever you break through the golden ratio like this and you hit that 786 just like that and you got a big wick there, I'm absurdly confident that we're going to have a date with destiny at this red line here around 416. If not, at least 430 or 424, somewhere in there. But I think that we're going to hit that red line. And then from there, hopefully we find support and continue to move up higher. That'd be the expectation. Looking at the indicators here, looking at the 1 hour time frame, very bullish on the RSI, very bullish on the stochastics, and the MACD's crossing green. No real signals that you want to turn around here, but I've just seen this happen enough times where I'm not going to get tricked by it here. 4 hour time frame, good bit of volume, nice little push higher, but again, that doesn't mean that it has to maintain, right? We've seen these kind of pushes higher, and then you give back, and then you still climb higher, and then you still give it back, and then you still climb higher afterwards. Right? We're in these very volatile kind of times. If we're looking at this on the 4 hour time frame, the RSI right here is actually at an area that you do like to find resistance at. If we put a line right there, you have found support here before, resistance right here, resistance right there, resistance, resistance, resistance just below, support right there, resistance right there. It's a somewhat significant level here, right at this 62 line. The stochastics, where are you here? Do you ever find resistance here? Not really. It's kind of odd for the stochastics to find resistance here. I guess you have a couple of times right there, to be fair. Yeah, okay, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. And the MACD, while yes, you did have some bullish divergence, and that's nice, I'm not too wooed by this price action yet. I hope I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong and we're not moving down, if my suspicions are miscalculated, get above, I mean, really, all you got to do is get above these highs. You get above 460, which is $20 from here, then I'm wrong. And we could probably do you one even better than that. Let's see. Hold on. We take this relative high here to this relative low, 786. If you can get above 451, then I'm wrong. On a closing basis, 4 hour time frame closing basis, 451, and I'm wrong. Yeah. Look at this though. For example, right? From a high to a low, you went all the way up to your 786, 886 area. You went a little bit above the 786. Where did you pull back to? The 382. And now you're moving back up, right? Here, we look at this same kind of idea. You pulled up all the way to your 786, but here you stopped right there. Could we not pull back to our 382.5, 236 area and then continue to rally? I do think, I want to be very clear in what I'm saying here. I don't think that we go below this low. I do think that this was a ignition point for a move that will take you higher, but there's going to be some volatility just because of the way that you've moved here. So you will move higher, but maybe lower first is my expectation. Daily time frame, the RSI is bouncing off the 50. You probably closed today green, so that'll get a close. That'll get a bounce off the 50. That's nice. Stochastics bouncing off the 50 as well, and the MACD is building bullish momentum again, looking like it's geared up to break above the 0. That's spectacular. That's pretty awesome there. So exciting stuff for Zcash here. Definitely exciting stuff. You've got somewhat of a flat top here with ascending lows, so I'm definitely bullish on this kind of pattern overall. But again, I don't think that we're going to break out above our new all-time highs here, or our current cycle highs. If we look at this from a high to a low, you have been consolidating between the 382, the 069, the 0.5, the 236, and now you're consolidating here between the 0.5 and the 382. Your next movement up should take you to the golden ratio. I'd very much expect that we go to 527 to 562, but because we've interacted with the 0.5 already and we found some turbulence there, there is a chance that we could push higher and go to the 786, 886, just as we have on the short-term stuff. Maybe we do break through the golden ratio on the first attempt and we stop here instead of the golden ratio. So really anything between 560 and 526 is a possibility, but then also 613 to 671 is a possibility as well. I would even go as far to say that 613 to 671 has only become more likely as we've been consolidating in this range. This target is still very likely to happen, but do we stop here or do we push through? And if we push through the golden ratio on the first attempt, if we can make our way here, this would increase the probability that this is the low dramatically. A lot of people would be getting excited. We're going to go to new all-time highs. No, probably not. We're probably going to come back down, and then everybody's going to call this a double top. This is what's going to send us below. Everyone's going to get thrown for a spin when really all we'd be doing at that point, I think, is consolidating. Consolidating in this range with higher lows and a flat top, and then we'd be moving higher. That's the expectation. It'll be some time before all this plays out, but it will play out. My expectation at the moment is just the golden ratio. Let's see how we do with that. But if we do bust through to the 786, 886, I would start to be really friendly with calling this the low. If we do find resistance at the golden ratio, there's a high probability that that's not the low and that we do go lower, likely around, if not below, $200, okay? I've got nothing else. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever it is. Bye-bye.